Drink a fizzy drink as I start recording. Make myself gassy, so I gotta cut out burps. Yeah! Hello, everybody, and welcome to another tier list video where I, your little disheveled goblin, am going to be going through and ranking the best fits of fantasy. Why are we celebrating this today? Well, because new goblin merch is officially being sent out. So if you want to gobble up some goblin merch, I recommend you do so using the links down below to get either a t-shirt, sweatshirt, or hoodie and be all comfy as the seasons reach the hottest they've been in. Why did I come out with a hoodie and a sweatshirt? Never mind, don't think about it. Just check it out if you're interested, and let's go ahead and rank the best fits fantasy has ever forayed into alliteration. Starting off, we're going to have Harry Dresden from the Dresden Files. It's a bit difficult to talk about this. There was a live action adaptation, but I don't think any fans are going to be pointing to that to see Harry Dresden's fits. And then we also have the contradiction of the covers have him wearing a hat a lot of the time, but the author himself says, no, Harry don't wear no hat. And then we just kind of have a trench coat with jeans and like some dark shirts. Nothing exceptional here, and this might be controversial, but for a wizard especially, I'm just underwhelmed. That's a C tier outfit. Following up next, we have Ash Ketchum, who is a little boy, so I'm not going to be super harsh. He does kind of fit what the character is. It looks like his mom dressed him like that's a 10-year-old's outfit, 11, 12, I don't know, in that age range. So I'm not mad, and also Pikachu is a wonderful accent piece for Ash. I know I just referred to a sentient being as an accent piece. If you're going to have a problem with that, buckle up. This is going to get a lot more difficult for you. The colors, though, work, and I like that it reflects his character so well, so that's going to be a B tier. Next up, we have Daenerys Targaryen, who throughout all of Game of Thrones had amazing fits. Yes, the season 8 did go downhill in quality, but the costuming department never brought anything but their A game. And so for that reason, I'm going to be ranking her quite high. Not in S tier, purely for the only reasons that sometimes her outfits were so bold, they kind of clashed with the environment around her, and it's like, dear God, you are standing out right now. But I almost kind of like that because she's just embracing the fact that she is the Dragon Queen, and she needs to look amazing. So I'm okay with it in that sense, but it's not quite in the S tier because she had a lot of outfits. Most of them were outstanding, but a few of them were just kind of like so over the top, it was like, all right, chill. Now we have maybe my most controversial pick of the entire list, Luke Skywalker. A lot of people like the Jedi look, and the early on Luke look is like, you know, he's a little rapscallion. I just never found any of his outfits, except for the one in Empire Strikes Back, to be particularly good. Overall, he kind of just always struck me as someone cosplaying Star Wars characters. He never pulled it off as well as like Obi-Wan in any of the movies, and I'm actually going to put him as far down as D. It just did not look outstanding to me, and even in the new Star Wars films, I'm not absolutely in love with it. And I'm going to follow that up with maybe another controversial pick. I love One Piece. You guys have been watching my reviews. I've been very much so enjoying the series. Luffy with his hat and vest, that's a bit bland for me. That's a bit average. It has some okay colors, and Luffy does rock it pretty well, and it's functional for his powers, so I'm going to bring it up to a higher than Dresden C, but I'm not in love with it, and it's just a outfit overall. And then we're going to have Aragorn. Aragorn looks like a ranger that he is, and it's a well put together outfit. It's got the nice little gift neck clasp as well, which I think is a very nice accent piece, and it's very functional for what he's going about the series and doing. Though it's just not a spectacular look overall, and so for me, you know, that is a pretty damn good look. He looks hot, so I'm going to bring it up to an A because he's pulling it off so well, though I will say in a lesser, like, person, it probably wouldn't be this high. Now, kind of coming out of left field, we're going to have Sub-Zero. This is just one of my favorite like combat outfits I've ever seen. It's intimidating as hell, it's functional, and it's super iconic. Like, there's just absolutely every piece of this comes together to reflect Sub-Zero as a character, what he's getting up to, and it's one of the best Mortal Kombat outfits we've ever seen. That's going to be a solid A for me. Gamora from Guardians of the Galaxy. She's had a slight bit of range to her outfits in the Guardians movies, but nothing extreme. Usually her arms are out, because why wouldn't you show off those amazing arms? And she just looks like she's ready to kick your ass. It's not anything super bold or next level in those, so I'm just going to say it's top of B, and we're going to move on from there. there. Shallan, I don't have a lot to say here because there isn't a live action adaptation or even like a specific show to pull from. We've just seen what's available in the covers, but it usually looks pretty all right, and she's usually dressing in colors that make her hair really pop. I'm here for it, though it's a bit one note for me, so I'm gonna do top of C. Gandalf, specifically gray or white, I think they both fall in the same territory of absolutely iconic for like any wizard character, set the tone. Maybe like, yeah, they're pulling influences from people like Merlin, but they toned it down and it works. So overall though, I'm gonna say Gandalf is a top of B, mainly because gray was like really nice and like comforting in its presence, but I found Gandalf the White to be a bit too aggressive, and he could have used a couple more like additional accessories to tone it down a little bit and maybe just make it all come together a bit better. So for me, he's going top of B, and that's going to be a controversial one. And now another magical figure is going to definitely go higher. Yennefer from Witcher. Whether it's the games or the show, the outfits this woman brings are on the Daenerys level, but also like more cohesively fit for the world and don't stand out as much. I think they're just ridiculously well put together, and she's gonna be my first S tier pick. Absolutely outstanding, and dear God, this woman makes all of them look sensational. She's kind of gothic, she's definitely witchy, and it's perfect. And now we have another absolutely iconic look for fantasy. Vin from Mistborn with the Mistborn cloak. It is absolutely enhancing her magical abilities. It stands out. It's different from anything you're going to see. It's a little dirty. It's a little gruff, but that fits her as well. Everything here for Vin is coming together. It's one outfit. It's not a diverse set, but overall, the Mistborn cloak, how can I not put that S tier? Because it's just one, I'm going to put it below Yennefer, but I think her one Mistborn cloak is better than like everything Yennefer has individually. It's just that her together look is a bit more iconic than Vin's. And now we have Matt, which I'm going to be going off of all of the different covers and stuff we see for him. He's a farm boy who's being forced to be a noble, and so it kind of fits that he doesn't look great in a lot of the outfits he wears. It gets better as the series goes on, but he always just looks a bit uncomfortable, but he leans into it. I just don't love the way he looks though. There's something about like all his different outfits and the scarf and the hat and the eye patch. He's over accessorizing at a certain point, and it's too much. I love you, Matt. You're one of my favorite characters, but tone it down. I would be okay with them removing a couple of the pieces in the live action show, especially with the rings and like the necklace. Like he's really getting to the territory of like, are you that guy at Hot Topic who can't help but buy the rings and stuff all the time? So because of that, in the over accessorizing, I'm actually dropping him down just below Ash Ketchum. So he's going down pretty low there, and I could even have an argument for him being C. Ahsoka from Star Wars. I love that she has these like things. I don't know, are they tentacles? I feel weird calling them tentacles. I don't think they're tentacles, but they are a certain color, and she leans into it with her outfits, and they always look and awesome. She doesn't over stylize because she's a Deadeye. She's kind of like a monk, so she has to keep it a little bit more toned down, but she does look the most outstanding of any of the Jedi in that way. And so for that reason, I'm going to bring her up to just above Sub-Zero. It has that same appeal of like super practical, very engaging, and just hell of a fight ready to go while looking awesome. I would strive to look that good while ready for combat. Then we have Galadriel. I don't think anyone's going to begrudge me saying that she is kind of the outfit queen of fantasy. What we see in the Peter Jackson movies is just like completely next level. Oh my God, elf queen, like it's incredible. It's not as combat oriented, it's just purely decorative because she doesn't need to get down and dirty in a fight. She's Galadriel. You're not going to be fighting her with your fists. So I love it in terms of just the overall shock value of the outfit, but I'm not going to be putting it above the others because I feel like they're a bit more practical and like a little more sexy in a way, where Galadriel's just going for that grand look, and I'm more of a sexy than grand look person for, you know, everyone. But yeah, for me, that's going to go bottom of S. Moiraine. Definitely taking like the Gandalf old school wizard, but just like adding a lot of flair. It kind of reflects the Wheel of Time as a whole, as well as seeing multiple culturals blend into this outfit, also reflecting the Wheel of Time. Fantastic. There's not a live action adaptation, so we can't say like, okay, oh, that actually there's going to be now. So we can already look at what they're doing in the show, and it's definitely already kind of vibing with what we're seeing on this cover here. I'm going to put her just above Vin, because I don't want to put her at the very top of S, because I definitely have to wait to see what the show actually brings to the table. But I do love what we're seeing already, and it really can only go up from here unless they make some kind of horrendous mistake. And like, look at this outfit. This outfit is absolutely amazing. It's practical, but it looks like just completely amazing. Next up, we have Okoye from Black Panther. I love this like warrior outfit. It has a lot of cultural flair. It's extremely practical. It's still feminine. It's not exploitative. It looks brilliant and just so ready to like kick ass. This is one of the few times I feel like like a warrior female outfit has been done extremely well without actually being like, oh, for some reason their stomachs are not protected. No, their stomachs are very much so protected. So I'm gonna go ahead and say this is the new top of A. It is still just like a fighter outfit. There's not anything. Actually, goddamn, those accents are really nice. I'm gonna bring that up to just above Galadriel. I don't like the kind of grand gaudy look that we get with Galadriel. I respect it. That's why it's still an S, but I'm not going to be bringing it any higher than that. Now we have Magneto from the comics. This is kind of a left turn. This is the only comic book character I have in here, but I love this costume. It's super bold. It's bright colors. It looks like it should be a good guy outfit, but it looks so sinister on him, and the helmet just vibes. So for me, Magneto is actually going to be in the S tier as well, just above these warriors here. I think it's just a great thing that shouldn't work, but somehow comes together and has remained consistent throughout the decades. It's just one of the most badass outfits you can find in fantasy. Now we have Zoro from One Piece, and here I'm going to win back over a lot of One Piece fans. S tier is going to get crowded, but Zoro, he changes outfits a lot. So that's something I like about One Piece. Everyone but Luffy and a couple others do like have different outfits as they grow and change. And Zoro's, he knows he's hot and he's just gonna keep wearing things to make you aware of that. His shirt's often open because he knows he's in ridiculous shape. He has sometimes a bandana on, the hair pops. He just looks awesome. So for that reason, I'm gonna put him just above Magneto. Actually, I'm gonna put him just above Vin. Now we have Darth Vader, and I'm gonna do another controversial pick. I think this is one of the most overhyped outfits in fantasy. I don't think it's bad. It is very intimidating. I like the samurai influences. It comes across as this like sci-fi samurai very, very well. But the impracticality of having like the controls on your chest is annoying. I don't know why someone with the Force hasn't just started pushing buttons at a distance. And because I said that in this outfit's design, it's now actually going to make someone in the comments section go, well, actually, it's protected by a Force. And that just annoys me. I don't like that. There's also inconsistencies and errors within the movies, like how his helmet wiggles in the iconic Luke, I'm your father scene. So I don't like a lot of the little errors that have come down here. It's not horrible, but it's going to drag it down just below Gandalf for me. Now we have Kaladin, who consistently in his depictions is always showing off his arms, because why wouldn't you when you're Kaladin? He looks amazing. And he also has this fantastic accent piece of Syl, who's just floating around him and being this wonderful little Sprin who's his best friend, and it makes you want to be his friend because you want to be friends with Syl. He still rocks the bottom of the ladder look occasionally, dressing up in that kind of bridge runner attire, and he looks incredible even in that outfit. But here, when he's kind of, okay, a little bit higher in society, and he's got this full grandiose appeal, he still kind of tears it down in a way where you're like, that's a warrior who's got it together, which doesn't necessarily reflect what's going on internally for him, but it's a great appearance, and he's actually going to go in the S tier for me, just above Magneto, largely because Syl. And now we have Dumbledore, who kind of just looks like your uncle from the 60s who never stopped doing acid, and he still rocks that look in a way that's very appealing. There are the two different actors who play him who had very different fit appeals. I'm going to go with the latter here because that's the one who was in more movies and I think has more distinct looks, whereas the other one just kind of went for like flamboyant, phenomenal PJs. We also have the Fantastic Beast Dumbledore, who just dresses entirely differently, and I don't like him nearly as much. Jude Law did fine, but like, be consistent in your fits, man. Next up, we have Yorick Bjorgson. And a bear I didn't expect to make this list, but he makes it strongly. I really enjoy the appeal of his like kind of grittier armor that he upgrades to the more badass set he gets, and a bear looks kind of baller in this plate. I think he has a sick, intimidating appearance, and overall, no one's gonna mess with him. One, because he's a bear, and two, he's wearing armor, so like, good luck even trying to shoot him. And yeah, there's probably no one more intimidating on this entire list than Yorick, because he's a fucking bear. It's not going to be on the level of course, someone like a Galadriel, or even probably in this A tier, but I'm going to put him just below, actually, yeah, I'm going to put him just below Aragorn, because he's got the white fur going on, and how can you not like white fur? Now we have, in my opinion, the absolute queen of the Gothic appeal. Gideon the Ninth, if you look at this cover, there's a lot more detail than like the online picture can often do it justice. She has shades, the personality is coming through so strong, and it just fits this character beautifully and brilliantly. I'm gonna put her just above Ahsoka, actually. It's just the one, but it's just so well done, and how well she just represents and rocks that vibe throughout the book is top tier, next level, on point. That's sensational. I'm here for it. And oh my god, I want a live action adaptation so we can get some more outfits and looks for this character. And maybe another controversial look. We have Star-Lord, who aside from his mask, does not look anything special at all. His helmet's really cool. I'm gonna give you that. It's a freaking awesome helmet. But I would even say Luffy's outfit is more like standing out and being interesting. Star-Lord's jacket is just like the kind of jacket I see so many guys wear in their like late 20s, early 30s to try and like recapture a little bit of youth. I'm not all about it. I think it's whatever, and I look forward to the day where I feel the need to wear that jacket because it means I've like passed my peak. But now I'm just gonna let him be in the sea because the helmet, beyond that, it's kind of boring. Then we have Jamie, and he's similar to Aragorn in that a lot of what he wears would not work if it wasn't for the actor underneath the outfit. But whether he's disheveled and being taken prisoner or in all of his glorious armor, he rocks a fit. And so I'm going to say he's actually just above Aragorn because he's got some more of that flamboyance and money underlaying it, which is hot, and it's going to bring him above what the son of Arathorn can bring to the table. I'm sorry, Jamie just got you beat there. And once he loses his hand, he's got a killer accent piece that's with him always. And I'm saying that because it's solid gold, right? And gold can be tacky and gaudy, but he's tacky and gaudy. And I'm just saying I understand why his sister wanted to bang him. Now we have Slowhand from Kings of the Wild. This shield is like the centerpiece, and it's built together very, very well. I like that he has this more practical armor and it fits him as this giant brute that he is, and his whole appeal is kind of coming with this disheveled look, and obviously I'm partial to the disheveled look, so I'm actually going to be ranking him just above Sub-Zero. Sub-Zero has more personality to it, but Sub-Zero looks like he's trying. Slowhand's just naturally looking this great. Now we have Lee Scoresby from Golden Compass, and while I did not like this performance from Lin-Manuel Miranda, I have to acknowledge that they actually did a really good job of bringing this like aeronaut vibe, and so I'm going to be putting him just below Gamora, above Ash. It doesn't look like his mom dressed him, so he's got it better than that. Anamander Rake. Oh, I'm a fan of this. The all-powerful magical sword wielder is something that, yes, I want in my life, and if I could choose to be any type of fantasy character, it would be this. He's basically a demigod, and anyone who questions him is going to feel the wrath of Dragnapur. So for that reason, and that sword, and that overall aesthetic and appeal, he's going quite high. I would put him probably just above Moraine, because he's an Anamander Rake. And it doesn't look like he's trying too hard. It doesn't look like he bought that look. It looks like it's something he earned and like there was a long campaign to put together, which there is. Now we have Shardplate from the Cosmere. So there's a lot of different representations of Shardplate, but this is the one that came in the official like package you get from Brandon Sanderson, so I'm gonna go with this vibe, and I think it's pretty sick. It does kind of stand out a bit as extra, but that's a little kind of the appeal. I'm gonna put it just above Daenerys here because it's intimidating, it's kind of sexy, and it looks like the person who's wearing it could kill an entire army, and that's the vibe that Shardplate's going for. Now we have Murderbot, and they are such a fantastic character, but their appeal and their look is super minimal, and so for that reason, I'm gonna be putting them down in like D, but that's where Murderbot would want to be. They are someone who doesn't want to be picked out of a crowd because of their like look and appeal and their armor. They want to blend in, and for that reason, obviously, I'm going to respect their stylistic choice and their preference and put them in D. Death from Discworld has these blue eyes that kind of shine through the skull and are so fascinating to like look into. You're like, oh, what's going on in that sentient little godlike brain of yours? But beyond that, we have a black robe with a couple accent like symbols here and there. Nothing outstanding, but I would put probably just a below Darth Vader. The impracticality of some of the things of Darth Vader do bother me, but Death just doesn't have that level of like influence and inspiration that really bring him any higher. Obi-Wan, a little Jesus from a Jesus of the Jedi, is going to be going probably to the top of A. It's a very minimal outfit, but he just always looks so damn good in it. It's one look he's consistent and vibes with. We also have the Clone Wars appeal with that little bit of armor, which I love. And altogether, it's just it's like the pinnacle of Jedi fashion. And it's understated, but it's like very, very confident, and that's what Jedi are about. Tao from Rage of Dragons. We have this one piece of art to really represent what he's supposed to look like from the back, so I have to pull a lot of like internal assuming from this, but the two swords, awesome. The stance, like he's walking towards this battle, amazing. I love the confidence, and I love the way the shoulders are built into the armor, the kind of chainmail look in the two swords. He knows what he's going for. He's going to kill a bunch of people. There's going to be blood all over him by the end of it, and that's awesome. It just has an aesthetic that I think is super matching the character. No, because I can't see the front, I need to bring him down, but no way I'm putting him below Ash Ketchum. Now we have Randall Thor, specifically the outfit from Memory of Light I want to focus on. I've always thought this is like a good outfit, but it's weird that he wore this while going into like the big final confrontation of the series that he's involved in. It's kind of strange to have this guy coming out with this full on, like, I look like I'm going to go to a gala attire, and he's, you know, going up against spoilers. So I'm not sure what I'm going to do or say or think with this. I think it's a really good outfit, but it raises a lot of questions. The sword's fantastic. He's got the sword that's not a sword, which is going to bring him up to probably just above slow hand. Yeah, it's a little too over the top, and gold is not my favorite with all this fringe. I don't like that. Hagrid, he's got the extra challenge of, like, even the big and tall stores cannot service Hagrid, but he's put together a look. It's a look. I don't want to dunk on him too hard, so I'm just going to put him just below Luffy, just above Luffy here, and say that's the Hagrid look, and I'm fine with it. Now we have three people together, the crew from Shadow and Bone. I just want to say I like how they kind of coordinated. They got together to have a look, an aesthetic. They're the crew, and each of them look pretty phenomenal. They have hats, they have collars popped. They do look like the little crime trio that they are. Anytime the team comes together to have like an aesthetic, I think it pays off nicely. So I'm going to go ahead and say this is just below Aragorn. It's a solid A pick, and that's fine with me. And now we have the absolute king of minimal confidence. He doesn't need to do anything flashy because he knows you want to get with him, and he's fine with that. He just has his pipe coming out of his mouth, and throughout the entire series, you know he's the ultimate partner you could possibly have. And it comes through in the way he just dresses like the little farmer he is, and he doesn't care what you think beyond that. He's top of S tier, and he's Samwise Gamgee. Look at the confidence in this pose, this outfit. It's extraordinary. He's kind of clean, but kind of dirty. He's the hobbit of all hobbits, and he's going to support Frodo, even though Frodo is a bit disappointing. And that's how you know he would love you, because you, as well, are kind of disappointing. Now we have Boromir, who I'm going to have a controversial pick here. I think is above Aragorn, Jaime, and Sub-Zero, and Slowhand. He's only below Randall Thor in this A list here, and it's because he just has that cleaner Gondor look. He's so much better put together. He's washed. He's clean. That's great. I actually shake his hand and not feel like I use hand sanitizer afterward. And you have to kind of ignore the fact that he tried to, you know, steal from Frodo later on, but even that's understandable. He wanted that great ring to go with the outfit. I think he just has it more put together than almost anyone else in the party. Legolas is trying too hard, and Gimli's just kind of I think Boromir's outfit is the best of the Fellowship, if I'm being honest. Like, I'm being completely real with you right now. If you look up a lineup of the Fellowship, Boromir just has his own total comfort in this fancier clothes that's still practical and looks like he's down for a fight, and he proves that later on when he gets in one. Sam and Dean Winchester, sorry I got that wrong in Fantasy News, they're coming at you with what looks like every single frat guy I met in a party in the Midwest. It's just the flannels and the leather jackets and the boring blah, blah, blah. They look like they're about to tell me why universal healthcare wouldn't work, and I hate it. I know a lot of girls really like this appeal. I think it's boring and overdone. They're riding on the fact that they're attractive guys. They're not putting any effort into their outfits whatsoever. Occasionally they'll do some like pieces as well to kind of like enhance the look, but I think this looks exactly what a million different people I met in the Midwest wear. And if you're from the Midwest and you wear something like this, I don't mean to judge you. I'm sure you're fine, but scrolling through your Facebook page is like scrolling through a field of flannel. Now we have Alina from Shadow and Bone, and there was a really good effort put forward here from the costuming department. It didn't necessarily always work for me. I actually kind of liked it more when she was in the more minimal stuff at the beginning of the show rather than she was all nobled up towards the latter half. But it's definitely a look I can appreciate. I'm just gonna probably throw it at just below Darth Vader here. It's a solid B. Now we have the king of sad boys, Severus Snape, the neckbeard who was never able to get over a woman who didn't return his affection. And that's actually going to be the look he rocks oh so well. He is the ultimate sad boy, and he wears it. That's actually something I can respect. I'm gonna put him just above Darth Vader. He gives me a vibe that he's gonna be mad at any popular kid with charisma because they're living a life he wish he could have, and I like that he leans into that fact. He doesn't hide it. He is the king of goth sad boys, and he earns that place just above Darth Vader. Now, Geralt of Rivia, if you're unfortunate enough to come across him when he's actually wearing a shirt, usually wears something that's pretty simple. He does have some armor that's got a bit of flair to it, but we all agree he's better when like he's shirtless. Like, please get back in the bathtub. So I'm gonna go ahead and say that for that reason, he's gonna go bottom of D, only because I'm doing a bit of a protest here and telling him to stop wearing that. And now we have someone who I feel like's outfits are vastly underappreciated. I think they're on the Daenerys level. I constantly see people bring up Daenerys' outfits in Game of Thrones, but people do not appreciate Tyrion's. He's looking great always. I feel like the costuming department did an exceptional job of making his outfits really reflect his different like stages of development throughout the show as well. And he has the advantage of not actually having his outfits clash as much with the environment around him because they are a bit more subdued due to him having to be restricted to typical male colors and cuts. So for that reason, I'm actually going to put him just above Shardblade right there. I think he looks absolutely brilliant. It's badass, and especially like the later on seasons where he's wearing darker stuff and more conflicted, well, the writing went to the costuming department decided not to and kept us fans actually satisfied in that sense. But here is the final tier list for the best fits in fantasy. These are just my objectively correct opinions. You can have your objectively correct opinions as well, and let me know in the comments down below where you think I went wrong. There's a lot you can say here about these various outfits, and I think a lot of people are going to be strongly opinionated, and it's going to come down to what you typically wear. But what I can tell you for sure is you should go ahead and wear one of these goblin hoodies. They're comfortable, they're warm, and as this heat wave continues to roll over the nation, who doesn't need another hoodie? There's also t-shirts. So anyway, everybody, like and subscribe if you have not already. Hit the Patreon if you want to support what I do here, and have a good one, all. Peace. And I'd like to record a special shout out to my latest high tier Patreon, Mike Peckham.